Well, we're gonna work on these floors. I've got a little stash of brown paper bags underneath my piano bench. I'm just cutting this to where it's one flat piece of brown paper. Now that I've got that done, I am going to use my tissue box. Here's our first little square. First one, second one, let's keep going. Okay, so we've got 6 little squares, so I'm gonna cut this out. I received a great suggestion, and that was from Lois, I believe, to go to Ollie's and get some vinyl flooring, and I really want to try that. But until I can do that, I'm gonna try this method just to make it look a little bit more presentable. Okay, I connected these 2 pieces with a wide strip of tape. Let's try this 3rd square. I like this. Let's keep going. Looking good. Let's cut out some more squares. Let's apply these 3 squares. Well, so far I like this, and I think it's something I can do a little at a time and take breaks from. And this will be good practice for when I am able to get that vinyl planking or that floating floor to put something permanent down, but I think this is a nice temporary fix. I've used about half the brown paper bag, and so far I've got 12 little squares. I'm gonna cut one more square and finish this off. I'm gonna live with this for a couple of days and see what I think. Been to the hardware store and I got all these different kinds of weather seals. And I've really needed this for a long time for the bathtub. I hope it fits. Well, it did not fit, so I'm gonna take it back and size up. So we're gonna work on the back door today. And I made this last year, and I've got bubble wrap stuck in there. But you can see up in the corner, I got some things stuck in here, like this rag. But you see when I take that down, you can see that daylight coming through. And I got this yoga mat that I put up in here. I've been trying to get this fixed, but I gotta do something with this because all that light that's coming through, that's cold air. What I'm gonna do first is take off this piece right here, and I got all kinds of stuff rigged up trying to make this door work. I have so much cold air coming through. I'm gonna take these curtains down. I'm just gonna set this on top of the washer to get that out of the way. So let's assess the situation here. We've got all this light coming through right there, and I gotta do something about this because, well, it's not safe, but it's just a real pain. So let's see what we can do today. I forgot what that's called, a rubber gasket or something, door seal, but it was not enough. So we're gonna have to build this up and try to make it so when the door shuts, it does not have that big gap along the edge. Might use some of it, I might use all of it, I don't know. I'm not a weather seal expert, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. I don't think I can run this all the way down the length of the door because the gap is the largest at the top and then it narrows down towards the door handle. We're just gonna cut it right here and we're gonna piecemeal it together the best we can. Oh man, it's not thick enough. I mean, we can run another piece along the edge to thicken it up, but it's still a problem. All right, let's get the other weather strips, see what we can do. if we take this and we put it along the edge of the gray one, I think that's going to be enough buffer. So we're going to measure this out so I can go ahead and cut this. I'm not going to take the whole thing down, I'm just going to get it started. And I hope it sticks. I think it'll be good if I put this strip up here because there's a gap of light coming through when the door is closed. Oh, there's a couple of bolts right here. I cut this small so it'll go in front of the bolt because the hole strip was too wide to fit in front of the bolt that's at the top of the door. So this is some old gasket that I've got. The sticky side is worn off, but I'm just going to stick that in the gap here to put a little bit of buffer between the cold air and my home. And I don't think it needs to stick. I think it'll just fit right in there. Let's do the second piece. Yeah, it'll just stay. So I'm just gonna test this to see what the gap is looking like. Okay, that's a lot better at the top. That's a whole lot better. Whew, thank God. I stepped on my cameraman's foot. I did not mean to. Say hello, cameraman. I'm going to put this right along this edge from right here all the way to the bottom. Okay, let's get this started. Let's get it started in here. So right here, I went ahead and wiped this off, and we're gonna put some of this right on this edge. Right here, gosh, that's hard to see. You can see how this gap is increasing. I think I need a new door. You can definitely tell the door is not set in here correctly. Either that or the trailer has settled and messed up the door. I don't see any cracks of daylight, so I'm gonna call that a win. This is a problem. I can stick my thumb up in here all the way here until about there, then the gap starts getting smaller. All right, so this is my yoga mat that I used to have in the kitchen for a rug, and I just sliced it up and I've been using it to try to fill in the gaps in the door. Went ahead and made like a little yoga sandwich out of this, and we're gonna stuff this up in the crack in the upper part of the door. And you can see that's how much of a gap is right there. That's really significant. Look at that. Unbelievable. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm working with what I got. I'm gonna make it work the best I can. This is trailer life, or at least it's my trailer life. Take the smaller piece of the yoga mat and stuff it up in here. Okay. Actually, let me put this so it'll stick better. I'm gonna put this little piece right there. I think it'll hold it in place. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Well, it might not look good, but it's gonna work out pretty good. So to recap, on the side right here, I had a bunch of light coming through the door, and I went ahead and put this thick memory foam, this thick foam tape along the side to seal up the cracks of light, and that's worked out really good. And up here, there's no light coming through, but there's just a huge gap. So I'm just using scrap pieces of a yoga mat, and whoops, that just fell down. That's all right. And just trying to buffer some of this, but we'll see how it works. I'll live with this for a few days and see if I can improve on it any.